Today, I'm going over the principles of miracles found at the beginning of chapter 1, Numbers 34, 35, and 36. So 34 says, miracles restore the mind to its fullness. By atoning for lack, they establish perfect protection. The Spirit's strength leaves no room for intrusions. All right, what does this mean? Miracles restore the mind to its fullness. By atoning for lack, they establish perfect protection. So a miracle is when we remember who and what we really are, which is spirit. We remember that this world that we see with our eyes is illusory. It's an ego projection. So we remember our perfection within spirit, and that is our protection from lack. We no longer feel lack when we understand that there is no lack, that spirit is all, and we are all because we are spirit. It says the Spirit's strength leaves no room for intrusions. Because when you understand what you really are, which is spirit, Holy Spirit, that's a holy instant. In that instant, when you remember who you really are, there's no room for intrusions. There's no room for falsity. There's no room for confusion because you know the truth of who you are. You know what you really are, which is perfection. Number 35 says, miracles are expressions of love, but they may not always have observable effects. Okay, so this one is a really good one to remind us that when we practice miracles, it's with our mind, okay? The Course is never, ever telling us what to do in the physical world. It's never giving us instructions on what to do with our bodies in this illusory physical world. It is only telling us what to do with our mind, how to forgive, how to use our mind to see correctly, what they call right-mindedness in the Course. So when we see correctly, we know who and what we really are. And when we do that, it is an expression of love. When we remember who and what we really are, because all minds are joined, okay, then everyone can remember who and what we really are unconsciously. Even if they're not realizing it in their conscious mind in that moment, okay, they can feel it unconsciously because all minds are connected because there's only one of us. So that's why it says miracles are expressions of love, but they may not always have observable effects. So when it says they may not always have observable effects, that means that we are not always going to see it in the 3D illusory world when we practice forgiveness. So again, it's not telling us what to do in the world. It's telling us what to do with our mind. It's telling us to change our mind about the world. That's how we see peace. We're not having peace by the things we appear to create in the world. They can be nice and they can be, a reflection of how we're choosing to see the world, the things that we then make in our illusion, or that we see in our illusion from that standpoint as we continue to practice forgiveness, which is to see miracles truly. But what it's saying is that just because you practice miracles in your mind, which is what the Course is teaching us to do, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to see the results, at least not immediately, within your physical world, because that's not the point. The point is to change how we feel about the world. The point is to change our experience as we're going through the world, as we're worlding each day. All right, number 36 says, miracles are examples of right thinking, aligning your perceptions with the truth as God created it. All right, so right thinking is when we remember truth, when we're not getting confused by ego thoughts, when we're not believing in the illusions that are in front of us, when we are not believing that we are anything less than perfect spirit, okay? So that is what right thinking is, when we are remembering that, when we are remembering the truth. That's right thinking. Aligning your perceptions with the truth as God created it. Yeah, because God created us as pure, perfect spirit, just like God. We are one with God. We are God. Not in a obnoxious, egotistical, look at me, I'm so powerful way, but in a pure perfection of love spirit way. That is who and what we really are. So the Course is always teaching us step by step by step, reminding us over and over and over again of the truth so that we can slowly unwind the mind training of the ego, because the ego has had quite a grip on our mind, telling us who we are each day with ego perception, with wrong-minded thinking. So when we choose right-minded thinking and we see with the spirit's eyes, okay, then we feel peace because we see spirit in everything and everyone and everywhere where we look. We see it everywhere. And then we know we're safe because everything in its trueness of what it really is perfection. Have a wonderful day.